You listen to Live No Die Live with me, Jim McDonald, joined by the Arco legend Mick Foley, and I'll be joined by him after this. This is Mr. Bang Bang, which was his theme tune when he was in ECW when he played Cactus Jack.
To the wind, he doesn't care about himself. You'd really be a fool to think he cares about someone else. He's not really much of keeping the action in the ring, 'cause broken bones on a concrete floor are really more his thing. He's not on a team or a member of a gang. He's Cactus Jack, or better known as Mr. Bang Bang. He's as strange as a man can be. He ain't got no family. A long career is not expected, but he really doesn't care when he's in the circle square. He knows he'll soon end up ejected. He's not on a team or a member of a gang. He's Cactus Jack, or better known as Mr. Bang Bang. He's a loner man. He likes it just that way, you know. He's Cactus Jack, better watch your back. He'll drop the big elbow. No matter to the consequences, New Mexico. He's not on a team or a member of a gang. He's Cactus Jack, or better known as the Bang Bang. All the people everywhere seem to think he's crazy, but the man that came from the mean streets knows his mind ain't hazy. Broken bones on a concrete floor are really more his thing. That's why he's known all over the world as Mr. Bang Bang. Bang Bang.
This is, by the way, Michael Hayes penned theme song, Mr. Bang Bang, from my WCW days.
Indeed it was, and you played
Cactus Jack.
So after that career and moving on to the WWE, how does it feel to look back?
Well, it was tough. It was tough in that I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do, but it was great in that it was my, first time making pretty good money. And I got to wrestle Sting and got to make a difference. I got to look at the glass half full. So I was able to work with so many of the top wrestlers of that era and have great matches. I think, a couple things.
So when you went on to doing ECW, and you basically, it's got a lot softer now as wrestling. It's not something you should try at home or at school or anywhere. It must be more physical back when you was doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that was, it was powerful to the point where I didn't come get my car out of the parking lot in Atlanta for like 6 weeks, and then when I showed up like with like wearing like a full body suit, something over my head, and smoking a cigar through a hole in my mouth. Yeah. And people were like, "Cactus, how you doing?" I was like, "How do they know?" And apparently I have a distinctive walk. So, I didn't fool anybody.
Well, you're back on the WWE and you're acting, well, you are the Raw general manager. How does that make you feel, going back and doing that?
Well, aside from being completely eviscerated by Stephanie McMahon last week, it's been great. I will add, though, she may have completely eviscerated me, but she did point out that I was a good person, too, and that there was a job for me in the company if I'm no longer GM. So again, look at the glass half full. But I love it. I love working with Stephanie as my commissioner. I was like an outside the box pick. I think it surprised a lot of people, and I didn't want to just go back to being like the funny, fun-loving Mick Foley, because I wanted to try to create a more, a compelling atmosphere, and there'll be a time for that in the future. But it's been pretty intense, I feel like I'm fighting for my life every week when I'm on there.
So, do you and Stephanie just go out and do it, or do you have talks on what you're going to do during the live session?
Well, it's a combination. We have some. We definitely have some ideas for how we can make the show better, and we talk about them during the week, and then we try to go out there, and you hope that you take your plans and that there's a little bit of magic in the air, and that you create something special. And obviously, it comes down to the matches and the rivalries, but we try to do our part to advance those things.
Yeah. But we're trying. Well, it's different, isn't it? Like you said, because we're seeing you in a role that you've never basically had before.
Yeah, it's really it's rewarding from a viewer standpoint to see your characters stand up to the authority figures. I don't need this job. That's not how the real world works, And the truth is, like, you don't always get your way, and so you gotta have, there are shades of, there's some, subtle shades of giving in a little bit. I think that's realistic. I'd love to be that guy, and I was that guy up until about 3 or 4 years ago, and then you realize, wait a second, I do perk up every time the 203 area code shows up. WWE is where I want to be, and you have to do certain things along the way that you may not have done when you were a younger man.
Yeah. There must be quite fascinating, because there must be a lot of young guys in that roster that grew up watching you, because you did some pretty intense matches. Yeah,
you find out, through the strangest ways that there are people that grew up looking up to you. I had no idea Finn Balor was a fan of mine until his mom and dad told me so. And then you hear little things like that, that mine was the first book that somebody read, and they're big stars in WWE now. So I try to treat people with respect, and so that hopefully they'll have that'll set an example for how they treat people when they get older.
Yeah. And back when you was becoming a wrestler, you had to get trained whilst you were doing it. But do we really have this NXT thing where they can get trained there and then go on and being on Raw and SmackDown and things like that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's great in that they build up an audience and expectations there, and yet there's still a place, for somebody to come back, boom, total shock, boom, doing my own sound effects. Like AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson didn't come through the system, so I think it's beneficial to have that the NXT, not only as programming and its own money-making entity that people love, but also as a way to build anticipation for huge stars. By the way, the kid had the best Cactus Jack costume today. He was awesome. Yeah, it's great, so that there's a buzz when Stephanie and I announced Finn Balor as our second pick, and it was like, wow, the roar of anticipation was great, and that's because of NXT and because of what Finn accomplished, for the 15 years of his career.
Okay, thank you, Mick.
Bang, bang!